All right, well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to today's training on the HP ProBook X360. Today, we're going to be talking about especially the Windows 10 environment and how you can most utilize your 360-degree HP device. My name is Rick Lappy. I'm currently an instructional technology coach at the Governor Mifflin School District. Governor Mifflin is located just outside of Reading, Pennsylvania. This is my 18th year in education. As an instructional technology coach, this is my 4th year. My goal is really to help our teachers transform their learning experience for their students. So as we like to think about at our district, it's not really about the device, but how we're using that device for the educational purposes. So although today's training is really focused kind of on a device, really think about how you can use this device to transform the process for your students in your class, in your subject area. As I mentioned, this is my 17th year in education. I was a middle school computer/business teacher, as well as high school computer/business teacher in a couple different districts, and most recently moved into the coaching role. The majority of time in the classroom, I did spend teaching 6th through 12th grade students. In the past 4 years as a coach, I've been helping out with all grade levels, K to 12, transforming that process. My district is currently one-to-one with devices in grades 4th through 12th. I'm currently looking at dropping down a little bit more as we go through. So my wonderful family is up here, and I really enjoy doing all kinds of stuff outside. This weekend, I'm actually doing my first half Ironman, so I'm really excited about that. And hopefully I'll be able to come back and join you again soon and not make it through the swim. I also enjoy doing a lot of different stuff outside, including stand-up paddleboarding, golfing, volleyball, snowboarding in the winter, and so on. My contact information is on here at any point moving forward. If you have any questions about things we talk about or anything else, let me know. I really like to consider myself another step or another tool in your journey, wherever that might be right now with your use of technology in class. To get started, I'd really like to spend a little bit of time playing with the device. I know for a lot of you, this is the first time this device is in front of you. You haven't really used it a lot yet, haven't been able to experience the touchscreen interface of that. So we're going to set a 15-minute timer here, as well as wait for some other people to come in and join us. To get to this presentation, I apologize, I forgot to mention that earlier, feel free to visit bit.ly with this link. The presentation is yours to use. This is shared out on OneDrive, so feel free to make a copy of it, keep it for later, use it, share it with other people who you might feel it would benefit as we go through. So as we're going through this sandbox time, just play around with the device, write down some wonderings you might have about it, as well as some things you might be able to use with your students. All right, so hopefully you got to experience some of the ins and outs of the device, and we'll definitely get to a lot of those questions and wonderings as time go on. One of the things we want to look at, though, is really, and some of the things I've seen a lot of people struggling with, is how we're using this trackpad. So the trackpad on your device has some nice features that we'll go through with it. This key is here for you. Feel free to stop back, at any point in time. I don't think we need to go through a lot of these. Biggest things I want to focus on, though, are right-clicking. So on your device, on the bottom right-hand corner of the trackpad, if you do click, it will allow you to right-click on your device. You can also take 2 fingers spread out, not right next to each other, and right-click as well, which will invoke a right-click on there. If you want to pan back and forth, feel free to take 2 fingers spread apart and swipe left, swipe right, up or down, which will allow you to pan around as you're going through. You'll notice in the 3-finger, right away, 3 fingers will invoke Cortana on your device, which will allow you to use the awesome features of Cortana for speaking and going through. 4 fingers will also invoke your action center. So let's take a minute to go ahead and try some of those features. Make sure you're able to right-click on your device especially. Some other really nice features we want to talk about and focus on in Windows 10 is the ability to pin to our start options as well as our taskbar. So what's the big difference between the taskbar and the start menu? When we go to the Windows symbol in the bottom left of our device, you'll notice it opens up. Our start options are tiles that are laid out for us. If we look at these tiles, we have some advantages of being able to arrange them in different ways and set this up however we'd like to set it up. We can also use different areas. We can resize this to fit the needs of our device better. And we can add stuff to it. If there's anything you would like to add to it, what you can do is search for it. So for example, if I wanted to add PowerPoint, I'm going to search for PowerPoint. Then you'll notice it gives me a best match. If I right-click on PowerPoint, it'll give me an option to either unpin or pin from start, depending if it's on there. If I would like this pinned to the start menu, I'm going to click Pin to Start. If I want it pinned to the taskbar, I'm going to click Pin to Taskbar. Think of a couple things that you would like pinned to your start menu, as well as your taskbar. Some other options that I would recommend: the camera app, which is vital for having your kids learn out loud and explain their process for learning, and the snipping tool for quickly taking screenshots on your device. So take a minute and try to add the snipping tool to your taskbar, the camera app to your start menu, as well as moving some tiles around within that start menu. All right, hopefully you found some really good shortcuts and easy ways to add to your start bar or start menu or your taskbar. In addition, don't forget you can rename those sections in your start section. So for example, we have Life at a Glance. If I wanted to change this to Educational Tools, I could rename that section for quick and easy organization as I'm moving through. If you head back to the presentation, I want to look at a couple different things. I'm a big fan of saving time, and shortcuts will allow you to save time and work more efficiently when you're on the computer. So for example, Windows Ink Workspace is something we're going to be working on in a little bit. In order to invoke or open up the Windows Ink Workspace, I can hit the Windows key on my keyboard and W, which will open up my workspace area as I go through. These are three vital tools on this device that we're going to be talking about later on in this training, and really how we can use those to transform our classrooms. The other thing we want to talk about is Alt-Tab. Alt-Tab allows us to show current windows that are open. In addition to Alt-Tab, if you hit Windows Tab, it's actually going to open up how many windows are on your device. This is very advantageous for you. You can quickly pop up and toggle between different windows. The other thing is, from a teacher classroom management standpoint, this can become extremely vital. For example, students figure out very quickly that they can open up another Edge window and then hide it in the background. If I'm a teacher like you, there's probably a lot of times where you notice kids are doing what they're not supposed to be doing, but you walk over and of course the screen that they want is open. If I hit Windows Tab, you'll notice it'll automatically show me multiple screens or all the windows that are currently open. Another nice feature under this option is the ability to create multiple desktops. So for you to be organized on your device, you can create multiple desktops and toggle back and forth between those desktops. Go ahead and give it a try. All right, so hopefully you had some good success with a lot of those shortcuts, or at least creating the different desktops. Think about, again, how that can be beneficial in your class and the advantages to that. There are more shortcuts on here. Some of my favorites include the split screen, as well as closing a window with Alt F4, which your students will know because they'll use that to quickly close the window when you're walking over to them. Next, we want to look at our settings. There's a bunch of different settings on here that you can look at, like adjusting your touchpad sensitivity or personalizing your background. A couple different ways to get into settings. First off, if I click on the Windows key and then go to Start Settings, this is going to bump me into my main settings area. The other thing I can do, and the beauty of Windows 10, is the ease of searching for anything using the Cortana window. So if I just start to search for touchpad, which would be my recommendation, right away it gives me the mouse and touchpad settings. If I go into there, I can control the sensitivity of the touchpad as well as the scroll. If I don't want it to be a reverse scroll, I can switch that around in there. In addition, as I go through some of my settings, there is the option to set up Cortana. So at start, Cortana is on there. However, all the settings aren't particularly enabled. For example, by default, Hey Cortana is not listed. But you'll notice for mine, it's automatically prompted by saying Hey Cortana. If you go through the process of setting up Hey Cortana, it'll actually learn your voice, so that if you're using this in class, your student's voice won't invoke Cortana as yours would. So let's take a minute to go through the process of setting up Hey Cortana. To do it, we're going to press Windows and S together, which is going to take us into the Cortana settings. Once I'm in here, you'll notice it gives me a couple things about Cortana. I can click on Settings. These settings are specific to Cortana because I had already invoked that process. As I scroll down, it says, Hey Cortana, let Cortana respond using it on. And then down here, I can click on Learn How I Say Hey Cortana. So let's take a minute to spread out throughout the room